Alright, welcome. This is a lesson in AP US Government and Politics. I will be referring today to the 2009 free response question, question number 3 specifically. Given that we have limited time today, a little bit less than 10 minutes, I will try to do as best as I can to be as complete and thorough and quick as possible. So before we begin, I just want to go over with you all what the AP wants to go over. What do they want us to know? So the AP has 3 things that I've defined, and one is that they want to know how much knowledge of facts about U.S. government and politics you know. This means just basically reading and memorizing, in a sense, all that you know. They want to test your knowledge and see how much you know, and just, essentially just show off. That's exactly what they want you to do. Second thing the AP wants you to do, they want to see if you understand the reasons behind political behavior and processes. So with the knowledge of your facts, why, with the knowledge of, say, the U.S. Constitution, you know that there's 3 branches. Why did they come up? Why did they come up with those 3 branches? What are the reasons behind that? The AP, U.S. government, wants to test you on that and see how much you really know. And the last third point is basically the combination of 1 and 2. The AP test wants to see you analyze and interpret the combination of the facts and the reasons behind those facts together to synthesize and put it together as an answer for those questions. So knowing that, we can begin our lesson. I have the goals of teaching you all the best test taking strategies in the quickest and most accurate way possible. So let's begin. The first question I've already written up there, and the reason why I've picked this question is because it is the most incorrectly answered question from last year. Out of 6 possible points, on average, the score was 1.75 for students all across the nation. So I want to go over with you how to answer these questions and how to avoid the same mistakes that students make. And please do stop me if you have any other questions. Let's start off with the background. The question before the subpart questions of A, B, and C, there's always a context. The AP sets us up with a summary, like a small brief, for us to get an idea what the question is aiming for. So I'll read it as follows. In the United States Congress, the majority party exerts a substantial influence over lawmaking. However, even when one party has a numerical majority in each chamber of the United States Congress, there is no guarantee that legislation supported by that majority party will be passed by both chambers. Rules of each chamber independently influence the likelihood that legislation will pass in that chamber. Legislation passed by one chamber is not always passed by the other. So basically this question is asking about passing bills in the U.S. Congress. So we're going to be concerned with rules and such and politics in the House of Representatives and the Senate. Okay, so let's begin. The first sub-question, part A, is describe 2 advantages the majority party and the U.S. House of Representatives has in lawmaking, above and beyond the numerical advantage that the majority party enjoys in floor voting. So, get a marker here. So what's important here is that it seems like this question is only asking for one thing, and that is to, describe 2 advantages. But in reality, there's 2. But in actuality, there are 2 components to this question, which is why students miss this question. So let's try to answer it. Someone raise their hand. Okay, so you say that the House majority can choose the Speaker of the House And what's another answer? Oh, you say they can select the rules committee chair. So let's write that. Select rules. Okay, so great. So we figured out we've identified, which is actually the first component that I was talking about. Identification. Excuse me. So remember, that's the first part we have. Right. And the second thing that I'll explain more is we need to explain. So let me get that one clear. So, and how do we know that? And if we take a look, it says describe. That word specifically actually tells us to explain. Because otherwise it would just say list two advantages. So let's begin. So is there anything, do you guys see the class, do you guys see anything wrong with these two parts? Okay, no, not really. Okay, so in actuality the problem is that Speaker of the House is not enough to say that the House has a majority. You know, just because they can choose the Speaker of the House means that they don't necessarily just have an advantage. But so for the actual answer that we want to say is that the majority, we need to identify that too. The majority chooses the Speaker of the House that sets the agenda. So, sorry, we're running out of space here. So let's go over, remember when I brought up the two components that we need to identify and we need to explain. So does this answer satisfy? And if we take a look, it says the majority chooses the Speaker of the House. So we've identified an advantage. And do we explain it? And yes, we do. We explain it here at the very end. That sets the agenda. So that is one full point for us. So knowing that, can you guys answer the second question? And how we can make it a complete answer? Okay, yes, you in the back. Okay, right. So we can add on this part that the majority party, so we refer back to this, majority selects the rules committee chair that decides whether a bill is open or closed. And like you said, this affects its passage. So if we take a look, do we identify? And yes, we said we identified the majority party selects the rules committee, so that's the advantage. And do we refer back to our second component? Do we explain? And yes, we do. We say that the committee chair decides whether a bill is open or closed. This affects its passage, and we explain why there's an advantage. So in order to get full credit of 2 points in that question, we needed to have 1 and 2. So we'll try to move on. Let's see how much time I have. Okay. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, so I can't move on to the second question. So I'll make a second video where we can follow up and you can see